Alright, back at it with the only free MMA channel that fucking matters, MMA Quick. And I gotta put an emphasis on the free right there. I want everybody to know this motherfucking channel will always be free. If you're somebody like me that fucking works every day and just listens to this shit to get you through your fucking work day, I fucking respect that. That was me. On the last channel, that was me. I never donated $1. I never planned on it because I ain't got the fucking money like that. So I motherfucking respect that. Don't ever think I'm putting pressure on you or anybody to donate to the channel, because that is not my fucking goal. This shit will always be free. Well, even if anything ever happens in the future and I do some type of podcast, guess what? Podcasts are free. Shit like that. The worst you'll ever have to do is hear a motherfucking advertisement. That's the worst you'll ever have from me. So please, whenever I give this shout out, do not feel like I'm putting pressure on you to donate, because that is not what I'm doing. I just want to shout out this guy because he motherfucking, I've made $100 off this channel in the 8 days that it's been up, and that's from 5 donations. I'm not going to put his business out there. I will say he's gave me over 50% of that. So over 50 of those dollars, 50 of the 100 at least has come from this guy. Whenever this fucking bullshit copyright bullshit came at me and I was a little worried for a second because I never had no shit like that happen, this dude was motherfucking ready to put a man on deck. He said, hey man, I'll talk to my lawyer. Let me see what's going on. He looked into the shit. I looked into the shit. I looked into LegalZoom, see what the fuck was going on. And he was ready to put a man on deck if need be and help not get the shit shut down. We figured out pretty much that shit's fake, so that didn't have to happen. But what I want to do is to motherfucking take the time to thank motherfucking Aaron Burrell in the comments. If you see him, that motherfucking dude, he literally is helping keep this fucking channel going. Like all of you are. Just the views are helping keep it going. Shit. This shit is fun. Just you viewing it is making me want to do it. But what he fucking did, man, it literally helped me. It's going to help me pay my phone bill and shit like that so I can get these hitter calls going. Shit like that. That's what's up, man. So fucking shout out. He asked me to do this video. He said, watch UFC 1 and tell me what you think about the word mixed in martial arts. So I'm going to break down UFC 1, a little quick history right here. I just watched the whole event, took some notes, and then I'll tell you what I think about the word mixed in martial arts. Thank you once again, sir. Much appreciated, sir. Free hitters on deck. Top shelf hitters on deck. Day one hitters on deck. Troll hitters on deck. Hashtag fuck Oscar. Let's get into UFC 1, baby boy. It started off in Denver, Colorado. Denver, Colorado, the first UFC was held. They said at the beginning, there's no rules, no judges, no time limits. There's 8 fighters, 8 styles, and 1 winner. It's a tournament. So these guys, there will be four preliminary matches, then the winners move on. In the first fight, we had Gerard Gordeau versus Tila Tuli. Gerard Gordeau was a Savate / Muay Thai fighter. Tila Tuli was a sumo wrestler, 410 pounds. It was fucking crazy though, dude. Because the first dude that entered the fucking ring was Gerard Gordeau, white dude, fucking big, tall, like 6'4". He fucking threw the Nazi shit out every fucking north, south, east, west. This motherfucker hit the Heim Hitler, dude. I swear to God. He hit the Heim Hitler every which way. I was like, what? The very first guy ever in the UFC octagon. Get this. This is UFC 1. This guy entered the ring first in the first fight. So the very first guy to ever enter the UFC octagon was throwing up the Heim Hitler shit. You know where you just fucking hit your chest and you throw that shit straight out to the air? He did this shit every which way. So I was like, oh, hell no. What the fuck? And he's fighting this sumo dude, though. So the fucking, let me see. The sumo dude, he's 410 pounds. Picture Mark Hunt with a bald Mark Hunt that's 410 pounds. That's what this motherfucker looks like. He looks like Oscar. Alright, so we got the fucking Savate Nazi versus Oscar. Let's get it going. Walk with me. No, this fight's over really quick. So the fight starts. Oscar pressures forward. Big 410 pound, loses his balance, gets kicked in the face. The fight's over in about 30 seconds. They say the guy got his teeth knocked out. The Savate Nazi moves on. The next fight, Kevin Rozier, that's 6'4", 240 pounds, a big kickboxer. He's fighting Zane Frazier. He's 6'6", 230 pounds, a karate guy. So it's kickboxing versus karate. Let's see. Dude, Kevin Rozier, it's funny. His fucking swag was not on flick, dude. This guy, he had his fucking, He had on some fucking pants that came up to his belly button. He looked like Rory McDonald mixed with Roy Nelson. So we're gonna call him Rory Nelson. And then the fucking other guy, let's see what we got about the other guy. They said he won a lot of his fights coming into this, a lot of his karate matches, and he's hey, fuck this guy. He's the Karate Kid, 6'6". He's going against he's going against the kickboxer. So we got kickboxing versus karate. In this fight, Rory Nelson finishes the Karate Kid. It was a comeback win. The Karate Kid, he was winning the fight. He landed a low blow with the knee, but the ref didn't, so the fight kept going, and he started kneeing the other big dude in the stomach. So he was winning the fight for a lot, but then in the last minute, they were both tired, you can tell, and big Rory Nelson fucking finished the Karate Kid, man. It was, yeah, he stomped him out. He got a karate stomp. He got a fucking head stomp off at the end of the fight, but then the fight was over. But on that fight, a time limit came up. In the beginning of this, they said there was no time limits, but I definitely seen a timer on there. So the third fight, we got Royce Gracie versus Art Jiminson. This shit was funny because they said Royce Gracie, jiu-jitsu 5-time champion, versus Art Jiminson, a boxing person. They just called him a boxing person. This shit was hilarious. So the Royce Gracie, he's fighting in full gi. That's one note I wrote down. And then the guy Art Jimerson, he comes into the fight wearing one boxing glove and then one bare knuckle. So one hand is bare knuckle and the other one has a fucking boxing glove. Like, okay, that's pretty fucking, I don't know. So yeah, that was the boxing person. He has on one boxing glove. So the fight starts. Royce Gracie gets he does those oblique kicks, man. That's crazy. I've heard people call John Jones dirty for those oblique kicks, and here comes Royce Gracie. The spoiler alert, he eventually wins the tournament. Here comes Royce Gracie fucking using the oblique kicks in his very first fight in UFC 1. So that shit was, he used that throughout the tournament too. Them oblique kicks where you kick him in the fucking knee, pretty much try and kick their fucking knee backwards. People say it's dirty, but it keeps the other guy at bay. So he was using those oblique kicks, and he would like immediately shoot in for a takedown after the oblique kick. So Royce Gracie, he landed the takedown off the oblique kick, and fucking the guy tapped before Royce even put him in a submission. He realized he couldn't get up. He was trying to like fucking hook his hands. Cause Royce had him in a full mount, and the boxing person was trying to hook his hands. But since he had a boxing glove on, he couldn't even fucking hook his hands. So he just tapped before Royce hit him with a couple of them ear slaps. He tapped before he was even in a submission. So Royce moves on. Royce Gracie. And the last fight of the very first round is Ken Shamrock versus, what's his name, Patrick Smith. Ken Shamrock is a shoot fighting / wrestling fighter. And he's fighting against Patrick Smith, who's a Taekwondo fighter. Patrick Smith is the hometown guy. He's from Denver. This motherfucking wannabe Bruce said this guy is 250-0. I don't know what the fuck that was about. But he got his ass kicked, needless to say. So, in the fucking, let's see. Oh, okay, so this motherfucking dude, Patrick Smith, Taekwondo, 250-0. He gets submitted in the first round by Ken Shamrock via ankle lock, and after the bell, he wants to fight. He's pissed off he got ankle locked or something. But dude, I don't know if he's mad he just took his L or something. I mean, after 250 wins, that's gotta hurt pretty bad, right? But after the fight, what I did think was pretty cool. They were interviewing Ken Shamrock, asking him, what motivates you to get here? You fight all around the world, do. And he said, man, and they said, how do you motivate yourself to go in there against a guy who's 250-0? And I don't think they said that part, but they just said, how do you motivate yourself to do this? And he was like, it's all about self-confidence. I ain't worried about that man across from me. I ain't worried about the other side. # fuck Oscar. # fuck the other side. No, but he talked some good shit. This dude was fucking cutting promos in UFC 1, so that's what's up. He had the it factor from the very beginning. So now we're in the semifinals. There's 4 fighters left. What was interesting is, if you think about it, since the way these guys fight, since it's a tournament, some guys are fresher. For instance, if you just fought the third fight and you're fighting the guy that fought the first fight, the dude who fought the third fight's going to be a little less fresh. I mean, I don't know how much that plays. That's not none of my business. I'm just saying that's just something I thought about. Alright, so we got the motherfucking Savate Nazi, Gerard Gordeau versus Rory Nelson, Kevin Rosier. Gerard the Savate Nazi broke his hand in the first fight on dude's head, supposedly, so he comes in with his hand wrapped, but he's still ready to fight. Kevin Rosier looks cut from his last fight above his left eye, I believe. So they're both hurt from their last fight. So that's why this tournament style I don't think is really a great idea. Because this guy broke his hand, that guy has an eye fucking cut above his eye already. So that just seems like disadvantages if you go against somebody that fucking landed a clean shot and knocked him out. But it doesn't matter because that's not fucking happening anymore. But that is what I'll say about the tournament structure. Okay, so we got the Rory Nelson is the kickboxer. The fucking Gerard Gordeau is the Savate Nazi. We get in within 2 minutes. Rory Nelson gets finished by the Savate Nazi. Savate Nazi moves on to the finals. The next match, Hoist Gracie versus Ken Shamrock. This was probably the people's main event. Hoist Gracie Jiu-Jitsu versus Ken Shamrock Shoot Fighter. Hoist Gracie fought in the very first fight. Ken Shamrock was third, so Hoist Gracie technically should be fresher. That's what I was talking about a little bit ago. But hey, man, this shit was an intense grappling session, dude. Because they were both sort of like grapplers and submission fighters. It was intense. They were flipping around on the ground and shit. But Ken Shamrock ended up getting submitted within 2 minutes of the fight. And there was a little controversy because the referee didn't see the submission, so Hoist let it go because it's a submission. And he was like, okay, well, he tapped, I'm letting it go. Well, the ref was at the wrong angle and he didn't see it. So he was like, hey, did you tap? And he was like, hold on, I'll keep going. I'll keep choking motherfucker a different way if I got to. And then Ken was like, okay, no, I tapped. I did tap. You just didn't see it. So the fight was over. Ken Shamrock must have not wanted no heat with that jiu-jitsu. He could have scummed him. A lot of people would like Chael Sonnen or somebody would have fucking said, no, I didn't tap. Kept that shit rolling. Alright, now we're on to the finals. We got the Savate Nazi versus the motherfucking human anaconda Hoist Gracie. The Savate Nazi Gerard Gordeau, he hurt his foot in the last fight. He cut it on dude's tooth when he finished him, I believe. He kicked him against the cage, yeah. And so his foot's wrapped now and his hand is wrapped. Hoist Gracie is as fresh as a motherfucking bar of soap and shit. He's just fresh as fucking... Nah, fuck it. I was gonna say something about Oscar, but Oscar's far from fresh, so I can't even do that. Hoist Gracie comes out with the oblique kick, quick takedown. In the last fight, he did that too, like fucking 5 seconds into the fight, oblique kick takedown. Just straight off the fucking oblique kick, shooting for a takedown. It doesn't end up actually working. The takedown doesn't work, but they end up putting a clinch against the fence. And he's still fucking like a human anaconda, still just wrapped against him against the fence. He ends up taking him down with the with the trip. And he gets the guy in a rear naked choke after taking his back. He holds the rear naked choke like fucking, you make sure you see this one, ref. He holds it after he tapped like 4 times. Like, no, I'm holding this shit until the ref pulls me off. Sorry, buddy. I learned in my last fight. I learned quick. He held the fight till the ref pulled him off. I will say the ref was slow all night. Like, there was a couple of submissions where the ref wasn't going to stop it. So, Hoist Gracie ends up winning the fight. Jiu-Jitsu beats all styles. Now, to the question, what do I think about the word mixed in mixed martial arts? I think back in the day, the word mixed meant a different thing than today. I think the fighters today would beat the fighters of yesterday. Evolution, they just got better. And I think the reason you can't take a Manny Pacquiao and have him fight Damian Maia today and have some crazy ass, what kind of organization, what kind of fight would they be? Because that's pretty much what happened in UFC 1. Some shit like Manny Pacquiao versus Damian Maia, or Stephen Wonderboy Thompson versus Gabby Garcia. Some crazy shit like that. That's the shit that used to happen, but that can't happen today because I think guys are just too well-rounded over the years. So I think the word mixed in mixed martial arts now just means an overall well-rounded fighter, somebody, and not in literally all 8 all 8 of these styles. I think just being able to mix the martial arts nowadays is a lot better than whenever guys just had one style of martial art. Because if you have one style of martial art, you're gonna, I don't think it'll work for you. Like say you're a boxer, for instance, you're a boxer, you can't stop a takedown. You're gonna lose to a well-rounded MMA fighter that can shoot a takedown. So somebody like Jorge Masvidal. So let's say you got Jorge Masvidal versus versus Manny Pacquiao. Jorge Masvidal versus Manny Pacquiao. Now Manny Pacquiao is a pure boxer. Jorge Masvidal is a really good boxer, but he's got some wrestling. You would have Jorge Masvidal would win that fight every time just because he's down and just win on the ground. So I think today's version of mixed martial artists are the more evolved, better versions. But I do see how it all evolved and how back in the day it wasn't the same thing. But I do think this is probably for the better. I wish it would fucking, I don't know, man. I don't know, yeah, they were saying some crazy shit like that guy was 250-0, so this shit was entertainment from the beginning. But that's a whole nother subject. Once again, thank you, Aaron Burrell, for the motherfucking top shelf hitter on deck, day one hitter on deck. I don't know what else to say, man. Fuck it. It is what it is. Let me know what you think in the comments.